Well, lots of people know about Rotary, but people probably have different perceptions of what Rotary does, and probably what's most visible to a lot of people, if they're not Rotarians, is what they see in the local communities. But Rotary is so much bigger than that. I mean, I just think it's absolutely amazing when you really look at all of the international projects that we're doing all over the world. And again, here I am, a member of a very small club, 30 members, yet we have been involved in more than a couple of very significant projects and have contributed our fair share. And when you pull that money together with others and you get matching funds, it's absolutely incredible the impact that you can have when you go to other parts of the world, and they are so grateful. One of the things, being in the smallest club, sometimes we don't always have the manpower to do all the things that we want to do, and certainly not all of the financial resources to do all the great things that we want to do. But I am so proud of our club because we have taken on 2 very large, important international service projects. And because all of our Rotary clubs in Rochester, as well as the Zumbrota Rotary Club, come together and comprise the Southeastern Minnesota World Community Service, we pool our funds, and so then any one of those clubs can put forth a request for a project. And so my club initiated a project a couple of years ago in Sri Lanka, which was involved in replacing some ancient reservoirs. And the cool thing about that project was that project kind of came to us because I became aware of this project through a Rotarian from Sri Lanka that came to Mayo Clinic with his wife. And the reason why I met him was because the Rotary International Director in that part of the world contacted the zone director, and he's actually a RI director now, Tom Thorfinson, contacted him to say, do you know of any Rotarians in Rochester? Because I have a Rotarian in my country that is going to be coming to Mayo Clinic, and we want him to have some kind of contact. And so Tom contacted me because I had worked with him through Fast for Hope. Even though he's part of 5950, it gave me an opportunity to get to know him. And when he contacted me, I said, absolutely, give him my name. Well, within the exchange of a few emails, pretty soon I knew Mahesh. And within 2 weeks, Mahesh and his wife, Tarani, were coming here to Rochester. And so it was great because now he knew someone. He knew a Rotarian. We had already established a contact. And so they were here for just a very short time, less than a week. But then when they left, he said, your club and my club, we ought to do a project together. And I said, yeah, we should. Let me know what you think you need. And so he sent me the request for this proposal to do the reservoirs. And so then, long story short, created a proposal, took it to the Southeastern Minnesota World Community Service Group. They supported it. So my little club of 30 members, and so we did our fair share in terms of supporting it with the support from the other Rotary clubs. Received the district matching funds, and so we generated $15,000 to do this project. And so it was an absolutely wonderful example how connections and contacts can make all the difference in getting to know people and partnering on projects that the country needs. So fast forward 2 years, and one of our programs at my Rotary Club was with the Rochester Community and Technical College. And there is one of the faculty members who for 7 years now has been taking students to Cambodia. And they have done absolutely phenomenal work. All of it sustainability, working with Rotarians there, working with a local NGO, making a difference for good, and they do compost toilets and sanitation units. And it's a very sustainable project, and it's just so cool. Well, I was so impressed with their project, and so after the meeting I said to Lori, well, is there anything else you need? Is there something that our Rotary Club could help support your initiative? And of course, she said absolutely. So after a few discussions, she came up with this idea that we could do even more to create more capacity for them to put compost toilets and sanitation units in this region in Cambodia.
They have a lot of waterborne diseases that are doing a lot of damage to the people there. The children don't get to go to school. The people who work miss days of work because they have diarrhea and other sicknesses. but they have no sanitation systems over there in these rural areas. So there's this NGO that's building these sanitation units. They consist of a well that is a sustainable well, it's well designed, a hand pump type, and little huts that have in them compost toilets and places for holding clean water that's brought up by the pumps, and it provides privacy so that people can go to the bathroom and they can take a shower without being out in the public. And this is very important because this is a Muslim area, and the women are very modest, and right now they're taking their showers fully clothed, they're cleaning themselves fully clothed in the rivers because they're visible. But they are now able, with these little huts, they're able to go inside, take off their clothes, to have clean water, to wash themselves, and do it in private.
So once again, we've got a contact. We know people on the other side. It's not just money that's being sent and you have a wish and a prayer that you have good relations and that the project is going well. In both projects that I've described, the Sri Lanka Reservoir Project and the WASH Project, which stands for Water and Sanitation and Hygiene, in both situations, we knew someone from those respective countries. So knowing people on the other side is just so helpful because you have that relationship already established. So, you know, throughout the week, there's an exchange of emails of what's going on. And over the month, I get a couple of pictures now and again of the progress that's being made. Or sometimes it's delays. You know, in Cambodia, they had a lot of flooding. Well, that delayed our project a little bit. Well, before Phil from Making a Difference for Good had even contacted us, we were sending emails and saying, what's going on? Are the floods affecting you? And pretty soon he's emailing us back and saying, it has affected us. It's delayed us a little bit, but it didn't delay them for long. So there's not only the project, but there's the concern because now you know these people.
Now they're being taught how to build, they help build these little huts, they help build all this stuff. They're being taught by the NGO how to maintain all these things. And in the last final analysis, if something goes wrong beyond the knowledge of the people in the village, then they can call on the NGO. In fact, I think the NGO comes out around like 3 times a year, and they will help them repair anything that goes wrong. So it's a sustainable project as well. And measurable, they're looking at the absence rates in schools and work, and you know, in other words, the sickness rate in the city, in the village.
The neat thing about that project was it wasn't just the Rotary clubs coming together, but we're partnering now with the Rochester Community and Technical College, which is kind of neat, and the first time we've been able to do that. And then this past week, Lori contacted me again and said her friends, the family that we know in Cambodia, and by family I mean the larger family of Cambodians, they needed a generator for these sewing machines that the Rochester Community and Technical College had provided them for these women who sew and make products, handicrafts, that they sell, and that's their method of living. But they could only sew during certain times of the day because the generator didn't work, so they didn't have enough daylight, and they didn't have the electricity to run their sewing machines. And so she said, can you help? And I said, I don't know, let me find out. I said, how much money do you need? And so she sent me a picture with the specs for a generator for $950. And so Julie O'Fallon took it forward for me to the Southeastern Minnesota World Community Service Committee. And just yesterday, she gave me a phone call and said, yep, we're going to do it. So $950. This time we didn't even have to write a grant or receive matching funds. We just dug deep into our pockets and among 4 clubs came up with $950. And that's going to make a huge difference for those women in Cambodia who so desperately need this generator to be able to do the good work that they do.
One example of how our small Rotary Club in rural Rice Lake, Wisconsin is not only affecting people all over the world, but bringing together members of our community is we ran a Feed My Starving Children project last year. Last year was the second year. And for me, it's amazing how it really brought the entire city together to learn about things that are going on in other parts of the world and to bring to their attention or remind them how good we really do have it when you compare rural Rice Lake, Wisconsin with other areas of the world. We packed over 125,000 meals to help families and children in other parts of the world, and it really did create a bond with people in the community and the churches and other service organizations. So that's one example of kind of a feel-good event that we ran where people in rural Rice Lake, Wisconsin made an impact on people in other parts of the world.
That was a really kind of an eye-opening event to be a part of, because you really realize it opens your eyes to how much need there is in those countries and how much that bag of rice and chicken, how much that can feed just one person, how many meals it can provide. It's pretty staggering once you think about it. It just opens your eyes to it. It's like you don't realize, you don't think about that kind of stuff unless, like I don't, or I never used to, because I didn't know about it, you know. But being a part of Rotary, you see the need throughout the world and in those third world countries that don't have the common conveniences that we have. You know, I mean, all the stuff we take for granted is stuff that they don't even think of having, you know. So it was an eye-opener.
When I do things like, you know, I had the opportunity when I was in India to participate in a National Immunization Day for polio. And when you see those little kids come in, you know, I had high school friends who grew up with polio, and you see those parents bring those little kids in, and you can give the drops to mean that they're not going to get polio. We had two grandparents who brought in a day-old baby. The mother still wasn't well enough to come in, but they wanted to make sure that their grandchild didn't get polio. And so we came and inoculated that little day-old baby, and so that child doesn't have to worry about that disease. When Rotary can do something like that, isn't that incredible? I mean, it says, yes, I can make a difference. And why wouldn't you want to get involved with a group that is making a difference in the world, making it a better place?
A lot of people don't step outside of the community. They just kind of go about their daily routine. And with Rotary, you can be a part of something that's so much bigger than Northwest Wisconsin or the small town you live in, because it's worldwide. You can help. It has the power to help an 8-year-old child in Somalia or Nicaragua, and you can do that by, you know, just helping out.
It makes you feel good inside when you can give back to your community in a lot of different ways, whether that be through projects or helping at an event. And for me, it's kind of a feel-good thing.